You're prescribed to be sexist. You are. Realize it and fix it. But stop calling me a queen like it does anything. Stop telling me you protect me and then treating me like shit. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of backlash for, which is all the more reason to make it. The facade of black men protecting women. Yeah. You know, if you're on the internet, you've probably seen a lot recently of black men saying, we must protect black women at all costs. Which is a great sentiment. It's a great idea. Not happening. I feel like it is a trend, specifically now, for black men to talk about how we need to protect black women. Obviously, a big part of it is because of Breonna Taylor and all of the black women who are being treated terribly. When I see black men tweeting, we must protect black women at all costs, or protect black women, and it gets like so many retweets, like it's a freaking hot take. But when I see that, to me it's the same as like all these white people saying, we see you, we hear you, you matter. Okay, and what are you doing about it? Because it's super easy to tweet it, and like, good for you, but when I see people that maybe I even know of in real life, or people that I have had past interactions with, say we must protect black women at all costs, and then I think about things that have happened and I'm like, you don't live that though. You don't live that. So why are you what is this facade? What is this facade? Because if all of these black men had been protecting black women the way they pretend to protect black women, we would be more protected. I also don't even really like the word protect. Like, I get where it's coming from. Oh, you know what? I haven't even thought of this before, literally right now. I don't like the word protect because when a black man says we must protect black women at all costs, it creates the assumption that it's black men and black women together on one side fighting, and like the black man is trying to protect her from outside evil, which doesn't allow for the very real fact and reality that a lot of the bullshit that black women have to go through comes from black men. So this whole idea of protect, as if it's all coming from somewhere else, kind of makes it so there's no responsibility on you, huh? Isn't that interesting how verbiage does that? Sorry, the wind is blowing my phone around. Look at yourselves. Look at the way you speak about black women, dark-skinned black women, fat black women, dark-skinned, natural-haired. Look at the TikToks that you're making saying, now that all the basketball players are here, how you be getting them white girls? How many of you have made those TikToks? Literally, we should do one of those hand things where you just start going like this. One of you said, black girls aren't my preference, dark-skinned girls aren't my preference, I just think white girls are prettier. Have you, the tweet that was going around of a group of 5 white girls tweeted by a black guy, and he said, black girls could never. Laughing at Meg Thee Stallion being shot. Black men saying, I want to be her surgeon so I can feel her ass. Where's the protection? You need to protect her from you. So where is the safety that you seem to promise? You can't just protect black women when it's convenient to you. And I don't know who needs to hear this, except for that I do. But I don't know who needs to hear this. But if you are really protecting black women, then you need to listen to them when they tell you that you've done something wrong. And you need to not gaslight them and tell them how crazy they are and all the reasons that they're overreacting. Because if you were really looking out for a black woman, than when I said to you, you are doing this thing and it's hurting me, whether it be emotionally, physically, whatever, and you say, no, I'm not. And the thing is, that happens more often than not. So where is this protection? And that is coming from me, who, like, I have a lot of privilege in regards to being a very light-skinned person with, like, hair that is not too hard to deal with. Like, I have come across men who are like, oh, you're the right type of black woman, or I only like light-skinned girls like you, or I only like black girls with your hair, or I only like this, and this. A bunch of things that are just literally so discriminatory. I am on the privileged side of that spectrum, and this happens to me more often than not. So this is me acknowledging that for dark-skinned women, it's probably amplified. You can't only care about black women that you're attracted to if you want to be someone who says they care about black women. You have to care about all of us. I think what a lot of black men are failing to realize is that the patriarchy for black women is just as big of an oppressor as racism. I wouldn't say one is necessarily bigger than the other. I think they're different but similar and work together. And so I feel like a lot of black men love to be like, yeah, racism is bad, which, like, yeah, we know, obviously. But then they, as soon as questions of misogyny get brought up, they're like, well, why are you talking to me like that? Like, I protect black women, blah, 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 blah. And if I'm like, well, you said this and I think this is sexist, then they're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, you talk too much, blah, 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 blah. I am, the kind of person to really go off on someone if I feel like they need to learn something. But, like, in a respectful way. Like, I'm not rude, but I will say what I mean, because what else am I here for? And the responses I get, and this is from black men exclusively, because I only really date black men. There have been a lot of times where someone I'm talking to has said something that offends me, and I tell them that, and they find a way to turn it around on me and say that I offended them as a black man for telling them that they were sexist. Make it make sense. That makes no sense to me. I have been told so many times that I'm too loud, I'm overly confident. That one really got me. Overly confident. God forbid I know my worth. Overly confident because I stood up for myself. That is not protecting black women. That is oppressing black women. Do we know that? Do we know that telling a black woman that she is crazy, or she is overreacting, or that she needs to shut up, or that she's overly confident because she stood up for herself? Do we know that that's oppression, black men? I'm asking. Do we know what it means to protect black women? Do we know what it means to hear black women and not speak over them? What is the work that is being done to protect black women the way you say you do? Is it calling them queens on Instagram? Because I am over that. I don't need that from you. I hate that whole thing so much. It's a cop-out. Same thing with protect all women. It's a cop-out. Or protect all black women. These are cop-outs that black men use to not really have to work on themselves or treat black women fairly. It's a cop-out. You're all queens, but only the ones that look like so. You're all queens except for when you don't smile back at me when I say hello. It's like, it's always conditional. That is the problem. It's, you're all queens, but if I tell you you're pretty and you say you're a bitch. you're all queens, but if you reject me, you're a bitch. You're ugly, you're fat, but I protect all black women. Save it. I don't want to hear it. The amount of times, like, I've rejected someone and they've said, okay, well, you're a bitch anyway, or you're not that cute anyway, or I've been physically threatened for rejecting someone, for rejecting a black man. Where's the protection? And I know, and I hate that people do this, but I know that I'm gonna say these things and a lot of guys are gonna be like, well, that's not me, not all men. You have to understand, like, the patriarchy, you have to do, it's the same, and I really hope people can start making these connections. It is so similar to the way racism infiltrates a white person's body into the, in the way that they need to do active work to not be racist. You need to do active work on yourself to not be racist. You can't just be like, well, I'm not racist. I didn't do anything to not be racist, but I'm not racist. It's the same thing with the patriarchy in men. You're prescribed to be sexist. You are. Realize it and fix it. But stop calling me a queen like it does anything. Stop telling me you protect me and then treating me like shit, like it does anything. I'm tired of the facade. I'm just tired of this show we're putting on and pretending like we're doing the most. Pretending like tweeting protect black women is doing the most. You know, I don't take that as being like, I'm not gonna talk to any black man and they're all trash. But what I look for is like a willingness to learn. So and you can totally tell because it's just about how they react to you calling them out, basically. And I am the person that calls people out, especially when I'm like talking to them, you know? And if I tell someone that they've said or done something that I think could be offensive, there's two ways they'll react. One tells me they're willing to learn and the other tells me they're not. And there's really no in between. And one usually ends in, you don't know what you're talking about, you're overly confident, you're a bitch, you are making mountains out of molehills, you're overreacting. And the other one is, oh, I never thought about it that way. You make a good point. My question was, is it that hard to say that? No. The only solution I have is listening. This is really men in general, but specifically black men on this topic, to listen to black women, to listen to not just the women that you're attracted to, but to the ones that tell you are being really offensive, who call you out, who say your behavior is unacceptable, and you say, she's on one, forget her. You don't protect black women. I don't really care for that phrase. Protect? How do you protect for someone from yourself? Where's the boundary? Interesting choice of words. Again, I know I'm probably gonna get a decent amount of backlash for this, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not interested in a man's criticism on my feminism. I'm not interested in a man's criticism of my criticism of them. I'm just not I'm interested in dialogue. I am interested in educating one another and conversing about that. But any man that's gonna come to me and say, I feel offended that you said I'm probably sexist. I feel offended that you said I'm not doing enough. I feel offended that you're offended. I will not be considering those comments as valid. So don't waste your time relating this to racism. This isn't a bad apple situation. Once again, the patriarchy is not a bad apple once in a while situation. it's a consistently blood flows through your veins situation. It's in the water that you drink. The patriarchy is in the water that you drink. So I want to know what you're doing to overcome something so strong that it's in the water that you drink. What are you doing? Other than tweeting, protect Black women? Are you doing anything else? Can you name me 3 things? I would love, that's a great thing. Comment down below for Black men. Comment down below 3 things you are actively doing right now to protect Black women, or if we don't like that phrase, support the upward mobility and freedom of Black women. Give me 3 concrete things that don't involve the internet, that don't involve tweeting about it, that don't involve you talking about it. I hate that. I hate that. So many people, sorry to say it, so many men love to talk about how much they're doing. They love to talk about how much they care about Black women. I see no Carfax though. So why are we talking so much? Why are we throwing the queen emoji everywhere when we're treating women like shit? I don't really get it. Yeah, but the best thing you can do, I think, is listen. And the best thing you can do is listen when somebody calls you out and really hear what they're saying rather than getting defensive. Because I'm pretty sure, like, I feel like most men must have been called out at some point. I'm not really sure, but I know that I call out men a lot. But I feel like most men must have been called out for something sexist at some point in their life. And just really think about how you reacted to it and why. And going forward, have more of a listening perspective than a defensive perspective. And I think that's the only way people are going to grow and change. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today's video. So yeah, comment down below 3 things. Oh, that's 6. Do 6 if you want. If you're a Black woman, thank you for being here. Love you. If you're a woman, period, thank you for being here. Love you. If you're a non-binary person, thank you for being here. Love you. If you're a Black person, thank you for being here. Love you. If you're a white person, thank you for being here. Love you. If you're a person, thank you for being here. Love you. Goodbye.